feel like everyone's going to be 2 weeks behind, but I'm not for me.
Can I lean back or do I need to go?
Nah, you're good where you are. You good.
Thank you.
So let me get the video started.
We're starting.
Okay. I'm gonna say lights, camera, action in 10 seconds. Ready? Lights, camera, and action.
Today we have Hhsdgg, student GTP. Got the grunge look today, Harrison.
Of course.
How did you decide what to wear at the beginning of the day?
Well, first I go outside. I'm like, oh, is it cool? Is it warm? What is it? And then I decide. Well, actually, I decide the day before. I put my clothes out the day before. And I just put random stuff on for practice.
So a lot of people do that the first day of school, but you do that each day. Like decide what you're going to wear and have it laid out.
Yeah, it allows me to sleep for a couple more minutes, which is crucial.
And when you decide what you're going to wear, what are the factors in making that decision?
What's going to make me look good? Yeah, and what's comfortable. Mainly what's comfortable.
Okay. You probably achieved number 2, okay? But I think most people would agree number 1 is in question.
Yeah, I just can't help it. I can't really achieve number 1.
How long have you been playing tennis? Why did you start playing tennis? And where do you go from here?
I've been playing tennis for 6 or 7 years, I think. Started playing tennis because Henry Pinion, one of my best childhood friends, brought me to tennis camp here one time. I was a big soccer player, and he made me come, and I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know where I go from here. I don't really know what that question means.
You don't know what, so you don't think about the future?
I do, sometimes. I like to focus on the present.
There's a story out there, you started playing because you were on a soccer team that was over your head. You were one of the weakest ones on the team, and the other kids picked on you at every practice. How do you address those accusations?
They're true. I mean, false.
Okay, so let's use a more objective measure. The last soccer game you played, what was the score?
0-1.
Okay.
0-1.
So your team lost?
My friend's team.
So I guess that means, with a little simple deduction, you did not score in that game. Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. So I think that clears it up, the controversy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're failing at soccer, you decide to start playing tennis. You're fortunate enough to find one of the greatest programs in the country, and
I wouldn't say at that time.
at that time,
Maybe it wasn't, but growth. I think it was crazy. Definitely the best in the city, but I wouldn't say it was the best in the state at that time.
okay.
But by now, by far, best in the state. So I think just over a period of like 6 years, it's been crazy how different.
But you can have a baby lion, but you pretty much know when it gets older, you better watch out. Do you think the program was like a baby lion?
Yes, I think you had the players, but maybe not the whole. You didn't have the whole staff yet, right? Because I think you added on a lot of people. So, but definitely the players and the foundations and the right focus.
What are the biggest challenges in being a tennis player?
Being out there by yourself for sure, and not having a team around you to, like, if you're not playing well, to sub out. You gotta stay in there the whole time. No coach, you can't talk to your coach during the match. So just the individualism, it's tough at sometimes.
When you're analyzing what makes the difference of good players and not so good players. What are if you were going to name 3 things, 3 attributes that the best players have, what would they be?
I think winning when they're not playing their best. I think that's a big one. Finding ways to win when they're not playing their best. Dealing with adversity is better. And working harder, I guess, outworking the opponent, outthinking the opponent. I think going into the match, they have a more strategic mindset. And have a plan.
To be a great player, do you think you need more independence or more coachability?
That's tough. I think it's a little bit of both, because you gotta be coachable. It's very hard if you're not coachable and you think you know it all, because then you can't learn things from people that have been in your position. But you gotta have that independence to be, if the coach is not there, to have the structure to do it by yourself and be able to look at your game and dissect it and see what you need to work on. I think both.
What does success mean for you?
Oh, I don't like this question. We'll come back to that one.
What does success mean to you?
I gotta come back to that one.
Do you believe you can objectively see your own strengths and weaknesses?
Identify. What do you mean by objectively?
Like you have a good handle on what your strengths and weaknesses are, not just strokes but your tennis game and on and off the court.
I think I can identify it pretty well, but I don't always admit to it as much as I should. Like I can identify, but I'm like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not that bad. And instead of like, it's not good enough. I need to work on that more. So, I think a little mixture of both.
Do you believe there's any downside to knowing the truth?
I don't know. It has to be in a certain situation. I can't think of any downside right now.
What's more important, or what do you spend more time thinking about? The past, the present, or the future?
I think more important is definitely the present and the future, but I think about the past a lot, so I wouldn't say I'm in the right mindset. Or I would say that I think about the future, or the present and the future, but then it slips back to the past. But I think just figuring out how to get back to the present and the future.
If you had 3 major moments in the past that you think about, what would they be?
Eye injury, going from soccer to tennis, and probably from regular school to completely homeschool, which would be around the same time, quitting soccer completely and going to tennis full time.
If the measure of success, you said, one of the 3 things that attributes that great tennis players have is dealing with adversity, then your eye injury, some could look at that as a great gift. What do you think about that?
I think it's a good gift. I think it's a good gift because it teaches me how to deal with adversity, one of the greatest adversities that's still going to be there. So you still have to overcome it every day and figure out different ways to play the game of tennis, because you have to adjust it with my sight and stuff. So I think it's it's a good struggle, good kind of struggle, I think.
What about Steve Austin?
Great guy. No idea who that is.
You've never heard of Steve Austin, the $6 Million Man?
I've never heard of him.
Find that hard to believe, but let's move on.
Okay.
So Steve Austin was an astronaut,
Mhm.
and he had a terrible injury,
Mhm.
and they made him the Bionic Man.
Mhm.
So they gave him 2 bionic legs,
Mhm.
1 bionic arm, and a bionic eye that he could see better than everything was better than a normal human. But in return, he had to work for the government.
Mhm.
So if the government said, we're going to make you a bionic man, would you be willing to work for the government?
Absolutely not, because you lose all your freedom, and I mean, life's it's not bad at all right now. It doesn't change much because I think I've overcome all the adversities and stuff. I don't even think about it that much, so I think that would be one of the last things I'd want to do.
When the bionic woman died, did you cry?
I did. A little bit.
Would you prefer to live in the real world or a virtual world?
Real world, because virtual world you can control everything. There's no fun in that.
100%?
100%. Like, I want to do that.
You would prefer to live in the real world 100%?
Yes.
So why would you play Fortnite? That's not the real world. Or do you believe it is?
Like maybe 75%.
75% real?
75% real. A little bit on the weekends. Well, a couple hours, days of Fortnite, I guess.
If you had a choice between fame or money, which would you choose?
Well, I think money comes with fame, so bad question.
Not always. Answer the question.
Probably money.
Money?
Well, depends what the fame's for. What's the fame for? I get to pick?
I don't know. I don't see how that's relevant.
Well, if I'm famous for something bad, you definitely rather have the money, right? Now do you see how it's relevant?
Do you get argumentative when people ask you questions?
Yes.
Why do you think
get argumentative?
Why do you think that is?
Because I believe I'm right a lot.
So you always believe you're right?
Not always, but most of the time. But I think once I hear a good argument, I will admit that I'm wrong if I believe it's a better argument than the one I present.
So you've never heard a convincing argument before? That's what you're saying?
Not too many times, probably less than a handful.
Would you